Hello, hello. It is the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger, coming to you with another episode of Podcasting Your Purpose. This is actually episode number 94. That's right, episode number 94 here on a beautiful, thankful Thursday, the 20th of August. I cannot believe it. Like I said, summer is flying by. And with all this going on, I totally forgot to take a look at my car's registration to realize it was time for me to have my vehicle re-inspected. So I spent a couple of hours at the DMV this morning, but it was quick, it was easy, it was pretty fun. So that's why I'm coming here kind of late in the afternoon, but it all depends on what time you are listening to this. It could probably be early morning. But to piggyback onto episode number 93, which we talked about 10 podcast topics to try. Today it's 8 more topics to explore for your podcast. And I know you're ready to start your podcast. So many people are podcasting. It is amazing. Like I said, our forever first lady, Michelle Obama, her podcast is every Wednesday on Spotify. We've got Don Lemon on, we got Don Lemon. We've got Andy. Oh my God, we've got so many people. I can't even remember. Dennis Quaid and Demi Moore and Nick Cannon. And I mean, it's like everybody's starting a podcast. So I know I cannot wait for you to start your podcast. I am so super excited. So much so I am working on more information for you. I am learning each and every day. And in addition to my Podcasting Your Purpose workbook, which is available on Amazon for only $15.99. I'm shouting out to my girl who finally got her books. I mailed them to Jersey like 3 weeks ago. I don't know what's going on with this postage system, but she just now got her books yesterday. It literally took 3 weeks to get this book sent from Delaware to Jersey. I could have driven it there and back 50 times, but who am I? But anywho, this book is available on Amazon.com, or you can order a copy directly from me, free shipping. I don't know if you want to trust my shipping from Delaware. I don't know what the case may be, but it's available for $15.99. All you have to do is send an email to, let me show you, info@ablakeenterprises.com. Because not only do I have the book, I am working on ebooks. I'm working on some ebooks, some downloadable ebooks. So stay tuned for that. So today's topic again is 8 more topics to explore for your podcast. And I was sitting here listening to some great music on YouTube. So let me shut this down. There's some free streaming music on YouTube. So if you're looking for some intro, some outro music, there is some great stuff out there, but make sure you want to ensure that it's royalty free. There's no copyright problems, because if you do, that's some legalese that you don't want to get yourself into. You never want to get that cease and desist email or that knock on the door. I don't know how they do it anymore. But anywho, today is episode number 94. 8 more topics to explore for your podcast. If you missed yesterday's episode, go back and listen to the first 10. Make sure that you're subscribing to my YouTube channel. You are thumbs upping, yeah, that's a word, this video, and you are sharing sharing it with all your family and friends. Woo, got tongue-tied there for a minute. Okay, so let's get with it. 8 more topics to explore on your podcast. Number 1, event and convention interviews. Okay, so this is going to be a little bit different. You can see that with the DNC convention. There's social distancing, there's no crowds. But what they're doing now, not the DNC, but what they're doing now in a lot of cities and states is the drive-ins, the drive-in comedy shows, the drive-in shows, I think they had some concerts and things like that. So you can go to these drive-in shows and either record from there or record what's happening, what's going on, what it was about. You can create some episodes for people who can't attend that concert as well. So that is a great way, what's happening in your neck of the woods. It can also be something like an outdoor concert, an outdoor festival. It could be a beach, whatever the case may be. When there is a great place that you can go for social distancing, let people know. I mean, we still have a couple of weeks before the end of the summer, before Labor Day, which is like on the 4th, what is it, the 4th of September this year? Yep. No, actually, Labor Day is the 7th of September. So we've got a couple of more days, about 2 more weeks before Labor Day. So if there's some places out there, because I see some great posts on Facebook where people are actually going to these fishing holes, going to these beaches, and they're not saying where they are. That would be a great podcast episode to let people know that you can go there, what's there, and things like that. So think about adding that as part of your podcasting episodes, especially as we get through the summer. Number 2, I've been touting this forever, and there's another episode about this as well. And I'm just going to say it again. Repurpose your content. If you already have blog posts, if you have a book, if you have content that are articles, you're a musician, whatever the case may be, repurpose your content. You've already done the work. And the reason why I'm telling you this is because that's what I've started to do. If you head over to dellblogger.com, not only will you find some of these episodes embedded into my blog post, but you will also find some of my podcast episodes from Anchor FM, which is today. I'm going to be doing that as well. So use that, repurpose your content. I'm actually going to put on the blog post today, podcasting prep pointers before you press publish. Remember, I talked about that here on YouTube as well, but that's going to be on my blog today. So go over to dellblogger.com. You can listen to the replay of the podcast, or you can just simply read it and share it with your family and friends. So repurpose your content, whether you have YouTube videos, blog posts, books. If you're a musician, a writer, whatever the case may be, just turn that from one content into another in a different way. And that's a great way to increase and keep your podcast juices flowing, keep those topics flowing. Number 3, this is a good one. Tell a story, but more so a story of a do you remember when? That's right. I love answering those questions. People say, do you remember when? Or do you remember the first time you went on a family vacation? Do you remember the first time you had a dishwasher? Do you remember the first time you did this? Do you remember? So you could do a do you remember series. Again, every week you can have a do you remember blankety blank series, and then you can ask your listeners to submit their answers so that you can talk about it when you have the next show. So you will always have a call to action. Let people know that, okay, next week, do you remember when is going to be, do you remember your first drive-in movie? Or do you remember the first scary movie or first horror movie? What movie scared you the most? What movie, made you laugh or cry? So you can do those do you remember episodes, and you can, that can last for months and months. So do you remember? Choose a topic to tell a story and ask your listeners to tell theirs, send it in, and then you can read it on your podcast and giving them a shout out. And of course, that's going to make them even more anxious to listen and to share it with others. Like, yo, man, you remember when we did that? Check out Antoinette's podcast because she's going to be talking about that next week. See? There you go. You're getting more listeners, you're getting more people involved, and you're sharing with your audience. You are having that intimate relationship. You're building a relationship, and it's something that not only are you going to look forward to, but your family, your friends, your followers, and your listeners are going to look forward to it as well. So that's number 3. Number 4, this is good. Top 10 lists. You can create the top 10 list, multiple episodes. Top 10 on sports, top 10 on movies, top 10 on entertainers, top 10 on foods, top 10s on travel, top 10s on anything you can think of as a top 10 would be a great podcast episode that can be turned into a series. Number 5, anything that's happening within a particular industry, the car industry, the fashion industry, insurance industry, real estate industry, you can create a podcast with industry specific news. So if you're a business owner, a small business owner, a big business owner, a major mega business owner, you can have a podcast that is dedicated to your industry news. I believe we talked about this earlier when I was talking about the purpose and the power of a business podcast. This fits right into that. So if you want to do something that's based on your industry, whatever it is, it could be shoes, it could be clothes, it could be health, it could be hair, it could be anything. You can create a podcast on ways to stay healthy, ways to do new hairstyles, whatever the case may be. So you can have a podcast based on just that particular industry, cars, fashion, travel, whatever the case may be. Number 6, podcasts on the road. And I have some friends that have a YouTube channel who I'm going to give a shout out to the max. They're RV in it. I also have another set of friends who are RV in it as well. So I know they're having a great time. Tim and Michelle, they're doing a great thing. So if you like to travel and it's RV or motorcycle or 3-wheelers or whatever, you can create a podcast about that. Matter of fact, my neighbor was talking about starting his YouTube channel about, biking, how to, camping, fishing, things like that. So think about doing that. You can do your podcast on location, or if we can't travel, because we're not going to be able to really travel like we used to this year, especially, perhaps you want to choose a country, a state, a city, whatever the case may be, and do some exploring online and then create a podcast around it. Some of the history, the name, some of the museums, some of the great things that you want to travel to, the name of the bird, the flower, whatever the case may be. You can choose a podcast for every state, all the states if you want. And there you go. You've got a series till the rest of the year, right? So travel on the road. If not, share that podcast information with your listeners after doing some investigation online about what they're famous for, whatever it is that they, that people don't know about. So like, did you know that Delaware is considered the Diamond State? And and why? I don't know. Look it up. Start a show about it. I'm the Delaware blogger. I should know, right? I don't blog about Delaware. I do, but I live, whatever. Number 7, recapping TV shows. Okay, think about, like, how they do the Talking Dead after each episode of The Walking Dead? You could do the same thing. You could do a recap of a particular TV show. You can watch the show, then you can do a recap of what you like, what you didn't like, and what you think is going to happen in the next episode. You can do the same thing with books or movies or anything else, but TV recaps are really pretty cool. So again, start a podcast based on your particular show that you watch week after week when everything's over and done. I don't know what the series is going to look like in the fall, but perhaps you want to just go back. You can go far back to some of the older episodes. You can go back to the Jeffersons or the Cosby Show or A Different World or whatever, and you can talk about that. You can dissect the show and then talk about it and get a crowd of people that want to also to listen about it as well. So recap TV shows, current and or past. Another one, and number 8, is the day in the life of. And there are so many business owners out there, small business owners that are looking for more exposure. And again, podcasting is very, very powerful. So can you find business owners that would be willing to talk to you or willing to be interviewed so that you can give them, so that they can give you the information about the day in the life of, they started their business because this is what they do some deep DIY behind the scenes thing. And not only are you getting people to open up and share, but you're expanding and broadening your brand online, because now you're featuring them, and then they're going to have their listeners or their followers, their customers, and their clients as well listen into your podcast. So those are just 8 more topics that you can explore for a podcast show. 1, events and conferences and conventions, drive-in movies, drive-in theaters, drive-in concerts, drive-in comedy shows. They're happening now, and you can go to them and then you can talk about them. Number 2, repurpose your content, whether it's blog posts or articles or a book, whatever the case may be. You can create a podcast around your content that you already have. You've done the work is there. Just redo it. Not everyone listens on YouTube. Not everyone listens a podcast. Not everybody listens, or listens to you on Facebook. But there's a just different way to take that content and repurpose it so that it fits each different platform. Tell a story like, do you remember when? Do you remember when the milkman would deliver milk? Yeah, it used to wake me up early in the morning. Yeah, milkman did deliver milk, just like the mailman used to deliver mail. Top 10 list. The top 10 in sports, top 10 in entertainment, top 10 actors, actresses, TV shows, movies, books, cars, clothes, food, anything you can think of, the top 10 of it. Of course, industry news, topical industry news, just podcasts about that specific industry, the auto industry, the sports industry, the fashion industry, whatever the case may be. Podcasting on the road. Are you traveling? Then let people know about the best hotel, the best food, the best of, being in that particular location. And if you're not traveling, then why don't you find, virtually travel and then share that on your podcast. A recap of TV shows, current TV shows, past TV shows, or upcoming TV shows, similar to how The Talking Dead talks about The Walking Dead. It's a recap, what they think is going to happen, any changes, what you like, what you didn't like. And last but not least, the day in the life of. Again, podcasting is powerful. You're using your voice and your vision and your mission, and you can literally change someone's life. So you may be reaching out to someone that may be struggling to get more clientele, to get more exposure. They just don't know how to do it. And you've interviewed them on your show, and boom, all of a sudden it opens up a whole new world for them. They're getting more people listening to them, more eyes on their Facebook post, whatever the case may be. And there you've given the gift that is so powerful. So again, when you're ready, I know you're going to be ready. When you're ready to start your podcast, send an email to me. Let me give you my email address at info@ablakeenterprises.com. We can get you that 30-minute complimentary discovery call to talk about what it is that you want to do. And then we'll sign you up for the 90-minute mini coaching session where you'll get 3 30-minute Zoom calls where they're recorded so you can go back and review them, checklists, printables. You also have an opportunity to become a member of the Podcasting Your Purpose Facebook page. You have 30 days of unlimited text and email to me. And we go through this book and through those printables and everything. You get this as part of the program, $97, but you get this as part of the book. And you know what? It's just a great way, a great investment for you. Honestly, it's a great investment. Why start a podcast? Because you have a voice, you have a vision, you have a mission, and you can change someone's life. So thank you for giving me a few minutes of your time today on this thankful Thursday, August 20th, 2020, talking about 8 more topics to explore. Check out yesterday's post on the 10 podcast topics to try, and I will see you again tomorrow. Until then, stay smart, stay safe, and stay social. Still from a distance, mask up, be safe, and I'll talk to you later. It's the DE Diva, aka the Delaware blogger. Have a beautifully blessed day. Bye-bye.